Buenos días, es el viernes y son las 12. Hello everyone, it's 12 o'clock and it's Friday, so it's time for our last community Spanish of the week, number 3 of 3, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 12. As I always usually remind you, we also have community French going on Tuesday and Thursday mornings at 8:30, and we also have the kids programs happening every weekday, kids Spanish at 3:30 and kids French at 3 o'clock. So there's many videos to watch, even multiple videos in one day. We also have our Instagram live going, so you can also check out some French and Portuguese videos on our Instagram, and it's quite a different setup from the Facebook live video. So there's something truly different to go see there. A couple of reminders. One, please like, comment, and share on the videos so we know what you're enjoying and what you'd like to learn if you want to send us a request. You can also check out our Facebook Live webpage on our website where we have all the videos posted, some extra worksheets for you to practice with, and there's also a virtual suggestion box there. So if you have any requests about things that you want us to teach, you're welcome to leave some suggestions there too, in addition to telling us on Facebook. The last reminder I want to give before I get into the content of today's video is that the August class schedule will be posted as of the end of the day. So if you'd like to possibly join a class in August, you can check out the different options we have up on our website. Again, just a little bit later today, everything will be posted, so all the information will be up there and be current. And so, yeah, that's an exciting new opportunity to join a class. And we are at the moment planning that the August classes will still be all completely online. And we're currently working on trying to open the office in September. So classes starting in September potentially have the option to be in person. But it's all a process that we're working on right now. And it's very thoughtful and careful process, so it's going to take some time. So in the meantime, we're going to continue online. So without further ado, let's get to the topic of today. As we did on Wednesday, we had a video where we were learning some of the numbers from 1 to 20 in Spanish. So today's lesson is a continuation of that one. So if you want to step back, if you missed that video and you haven't learned those numbers already, you're welcome to go check out that video and kind of get yourself up to speed up to 20. But today we're going to be starting from 21 and going all the way up to 100. So we're going to be covering a lot of these numbers. So without further ado, let's get to it. And we're going to start practicing, as we always do when we're learning new vocabulary, is to say the words out loud and repeat them, just so we know, one, that we're pronouncing them correctly, and two, it's going to help your brain to remember this information. So that's why we're going to start by repeating. So los números 20 a 100. So numbers are from 20 to 100. So starting with 20, we have 20. 20. As we talked about last time, that words that start with the letter V in Spanish, depending on how you pronounce them, some people pronounce it more like V, so it would be 20. Some people pronounce it more like B, and it's 20. Both of them are correct. We just have some different variation among different speakers. So we have here 20 or 20. Now, to go on past 20, we're going to basically just be adding the numbers onto the end for the singles, the one by one. And we have the E in the middle to connect the tens and the ones. So, for example, for 21, we have 21. 21. As we talked, I have mentioned in the previous video that in the older version of Spanish, we used to write out the numbers completely, and so they was all separate. So it used to be 21, but in our modern form of Spanish, we have then contracted it all together, put it all together, and so now we have 21. So you might still see in some older Spanish texts where they have the numbers all separated out, like 20 and 1. But we're going to be practicing the newer form of Spanish where they're putting these together. So we see this most commonly in the teens and in the 20s. But as we're going to see in the higher numbers, we're actually going to keep them separate. And that's because the letters, like the sounds, are more different. And so, like, for example, in these ones with 21, these three sounds of the AU are similar enough that it's easy for us to combine them into one word. But as we get to the numbers later, then we have the problem that the numbers are more different. Like the pronunciation is more different. So it's harder for us to combine it into one because it doesn't sound as nice. So we have to keep them separate. But I said we'll practice that as we get to these higher numbers. But first, let's keep going with the 20s. So again, we have 20 and 21, and now for 22, 22, 22. And take note of the little accent here on the O to keep the stress in the right place. Next we have 23, 23, 24, 24, 25, 25, 26, 26, 27, 27, 28, 28, 29, 29. The next, onto our next 10 for 30, we have 30, 30, 31, excuse me, 31, 32, and so on and so forth. Again, this one we're going to keep them separate, as you can see in the writing. So 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, and on to our next 10 for 40, 40, 40. Then the pattern repeats again, 41, 42, so on and so forth. Next, we're going to continue on to 50 in Spanish, 50, 50. Then for 60, you have 60, 60. And for 70, a very subtle change between these two, 70, 70. So we're just changing the S for the T, but everything else is the same, between 60 and 70. Next for 80, 80, 80. 90, 90, 90. And finally for 100, 100, 100. So now let's go through these one more time, and we're going to be counting actually by tens. Okay, so we'll start with 20. Okay, so counting by tens. 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. Muy bien. So just like the numbers 1 to 20, these are the kind of things that we can easily practice in our everyday life, because we always have to count different things. And especially as we're getting into the higher numbers for most of us, now we're getting into the category we can describe now, our age, right? Most of us are not fitting in the under the up to 20 category. It's going to be the 20 to 100 category. So you can especially practice these numbers when speaking about people's ages. Muy bien, so let's get to the exercise so we can practice together using these numbers. And then as usual, I'm going to post another additional exercise up on the website. So if you want to get a little bit more practice after the video, you're welcome to do that too. So what we're going to practice here is to write out in words these numbers we see here. Okay, so this one is not only a question I have to remember the number, but it's also a little bit of a test of our spelling abilities. So we're going to write them out. So please feel free to write in the comments your best spelling of these numbers. Okay, muy bien. Número uno, we have 29 in English. So in Spanish, we think about what starts with the 20. Okay, 20 was 20. Okay, and so now we're going to connect that with the 9 parts. So we have 20 y 9. Again, this is all 3 words, but we're going to write it in the new style where it's all put together. So 29, 29. And make sure here that you're saying nueve and not nuevo or nueva. That's something I often hear students mix up. So nueve is the number 9. Nuevo, nueva is the word for new. Okay, so make sure that you're not making that mistake between nuevo, nueva, and nueve. Okay, número dos. So now we have 52 in English. So in Spanish, remember the first for 50. And as you can tell, or if you remember from the numbers, that if you're having trouble to remember what this word is in Spanish, if you want to start by remembering what the word is for the single numbers, that will give you usually a good base to guess what it is for the tens. So what I mean by that is, for example, we see this, and say we can't remember the word 50. We say, okay, well, we know 50 that is going to have the 5 as the base. And so 5, what's 5 in Spanish? Okay, it's cinco. All right, so now that I know it's cinco, I can have a better shot of remembering what the full number is. In this case, it's 50. So, but it's a little trick that if you ever find yourself stuck and you're not sure exactly what the number is in for the in the 20s, in the like the 10 form, then you can always think about what is the individual number, because mostly everyone knows the 1 to 10 numbers pretty strongly. So you can use that as your base if you want to do that to try to spark your memory about what is the word in the double digits. Okay, so here we have 52 here, 52 for número dos. Next one we have for number 3, número tres, for 95. So now we're getting up high in the numbers. Again, if you have any trouble to remember what the word is for 90, think about what's the number, the individual number in the single digits, and then try to work on that. So we think, okay, this one we know 9, so something going to be similar to 9. Okay? And almost all of the these numbers in the tens end with ainta as their ending. So we could take a pretty good guess if we weren't sure about what the number was. We say, okay, 9 and ainta. So we have 90. It's close. So maybe just to kind of tweak it a little bit to make it sound just right and not so awkward is 90. So 95. 95. Número 4, onto 17 in English. And in Spanish, remember we're in the teens, so we're still going to have 10 as our base. So we have 10 y. Again, we had started with 10 y, but now making the new form of Spanish, 17. 17. Muy bien. Okay, on to número 5. So we have for 43. Okay, so again, if you're having trouble to remember the number in the tens, then try to think about the base, which is 4. Okay, and then we know they usually end in ainta. So hopefully that would help you to remember that it's 40 for the 40. So 43. 43. 43. 43. Okay, número 6. 84 in English. Again, we think about the base. Okay, it's 8 is the base, usually ends with ainta. 80. 84. And making sure here that we're saying cuatro versus cuarto. Cuarto is for a quarter, like 25%. Is cuarto with the R coming first, versus cuatro is for 4. So just make sure that you're not confusing those two things between cuarto and cuatro. Okay, muy bien. On to número 7. This is the number 60 in English. So for 60, so we just have to remember 1 because there's no single digit number. And again, we think about the base is 6. And we know the endings usually ainta. It's 60. Okay, 60. Muy bien, 60. Make sure you don't confuse that for the next one for 70, but I'm not going to give that away quite yet because we're going to get to it on number 9. Okay, número 8, we have 33. So again, looking for our base with the double digit number. So again, we think about tres as the root. We have ainta as our usual ending. So we have to make kind of a couple tweaks because it's not 30, but it's 30. 30 y 3. 33. Okay, muy bien. All right, dos más. Just 2 left to go before we finish this exercise for today. So número 9, we have 71 in English. So again, this is where we need to pay a little bit of attention and not confuse the two words between 60 and 70 in Spanish because they're very similar. So then our 70 is our double digit number, the 7 for the base, 7, okay? And then ainta, usual ending. So we're gonna have to again do a slight tweak because it's not 7 ainta, but it's 70. 71. So remember the difference between 60 and 70. 70 for 70. Okay, número 10, last one we have for, this is our highest number that we know up to this point for 100. So this one, you just have to know it. There's not really a good helpful tip for this one because 10, it will not really give you the right answer in this case. So you just have to know the word for 100. 100. 100. Muy bien. All right, so that wraps up that exercise. So just to close up the video, let's repeat one last time the numbers by the tens. And then, as I mentioned, if you want to check out the extra exercise I'm going to post, you're welcome to do that on the website. So, muy bien. So last time for us to repeat out loud again to help make sure our pronunciation is good and to help us remember the numbers, we're going to start with the numbers by 10, and we can actually start with 10 as our first number. So we'll start with 10, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. Muy bien. Okay, that's all for today. So I'll be back again on Monday at 12 for the first community Spanish of the second week in July. Muchas gracias. Buen fin de semana. Have a good weekend. Adios.